This is the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and it's somehow even bigger and has even more AI features than last year's Ultra. Let's take a look. At $1,300, the Galaxy S25 Ultra is the most expensive phone Samsung sells other than its foldable phones. Compared to the cheaper Galaxy S25 and Galaxy S25 Plus, the Ultra has the S Pen, a larger screen, a 200-megapixel camera, and a 50-megapixel ultra-wide camera. But across all of Samsung's new phones this year, the big thing that really stands out is the new AI features. Samsung introduced Galaxy AI last year on the S24 series, but this year it's building on that by weaving AI more tightly into the operating system itself. So instead of just infusing AI into one-off features like the photo editing tool or the translation tools, it's using AI to kind of make the entire operating system a little bit more intuitive. Now, the features that we're seeing now aren't that monumental, and it's probably not going to be a reason why you buy a new phone, but I do feel like it's a step in the right direction of using AI to make our phones feel more natural and easier to use rather than just throwing AI into random features. So let's talk about what some of those new additions are. First, there's AI Select, which kind of builds on Samsung's existing Smart Select feature. So when you swipe out from the right side of the screen to launch the Edge panel, there's a button at the top called AI Select that you can tap to have the phone analyze what's on your screen and offer suggestions. So for example, in my limited hands-on time with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, I used this button to analyze the screen and have it suggest that I create a GIF of a YouTube video that I was watching. So this was helpful and I could see how it could be useful in everyday use, but I don't know how often I'll actually find myself using it. But regardless, I do like the idea of a tool that is a bit more proactive and kind of analyzes what's on the screen to make suggestions for me rather than me having to think about what I might want to do. Another new addition coming to the Samsung's new phones is cross-app actions. So this is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's basically the ability to use a voice assistant on the phone to accomplish tasks that would usually require you to open multiple apps or take multiple steps. So it's probably easier to see how this works rather than just me explaining it. So for example, you could say something like, find me vegan restaurants that are nearby and pet-friendly, and send it in a text message to a friend. So that idea itself, the concept isn't entirely new. We've had things like Siri suggestions and different routines with voice assistants that let you string different tasks together. But I think the difference here is that this is really phone-centric. It's really designed to streamline some of the tasks that you do on your phone. However, this is going to be a change in routine for a lot of people. We're so set in our ways when it comes to how we get things done on our phones and how we communicate with people that I think it'll be interesting to see how many people are actually willing to try this. Now, another question you might be asking is this Bixby? Is this Google Gemini? Well, the answer is it's a little bit of both. During my demo and my conversations with Samsung, they weren't labeling it as Bixby or Gemini or one specific virtual assistant. It sounds like it's using a combination of technologies depending on the task at hand. So if it's mostly a search-related task, it might lean more on Google's Gemini model. If it's something that involves saving information to Samsung Notes, it might lean more on Bixby. Samsung is also trying to make its software a little bit more personal on the S25 series. So one way we're seeing that show up is with new personal recommendations for routines and things that you might want to do on your phone. So for example, let's say you always like to fall asleep with the TV on and you wear your Galaxy Ring or a Galaxy Watch to bed. Your phone might recommend that you set a routine to turn off the TV at the exact moment when you fall asleep based on data from your Galaxy Ring or your Galaxy Watch. Samsung and really the tech industry at large has been really behind this idea of all of your devices working together for a long time, but it feels like they're taking that a bridge further with AI, and the S25 series is one way we're seeing that. Again, I'm not sure how many people are living in this scenario where they're wearing a Galaxy Ring and they have a SmartThings thermostat or TV and they're gonna be able to have all of those connections, but I do like the idea and I think there's an interesting potential there. Samsung's also adding a new widget called Now Brief, and essentially what this does is it gives you a little brief to start your day. Again, this isn't an idea that's entirely new, but it is another way that Samsung is trying to make the software on Galaxy phones a little bit more personal, a little bit more intuitive and proactive. So with this widget, you'll be able to essentially tap it and see useful information like the weather and traffic conditions for your commute and maybe headlines that you're interested in, things like that. Data about how you slept last night if you wear a Galaxy Watch or a Galaxy Ring. But aside from AI, the first thing that you'll probably notice about the new Ultra in particular is that it looks a little different from last year's phone. For example, Samsung has made the bezels even thinner, so the Ultra now has an even larger screen than before. The screen is now 6.9 inches compared to 6.8 inches on the S24 Ultra. And the other thing you'll notice is that this phone is a lot lighter than last year. I noticed it right away as soon as I picked up the device. It reminded me of how I felt when I picked up the Galaxy Z Fold 6 last year. That phone was also notably lighter than the previous model, so I like that Samsung is also applying that to the Galaxy S series. And the edges on the Galaxy S25 Ultra are also a little bit softer and rounder, kind of helps the S25 Ultra fit in more closely with the regular S25 and S25 Plus. It feels a bit more consistent, whereas in previous generations, especially the last 2 years, the Ultra model kind of just looked like the Note. In terms of the camera, you're still getting that 200 megapixel main camera, that 50 megapixel telephoto camera, and then the 10 megapixel additional telephoto camera. But the big difference hardware-wise this year is the ultra wide, which now has a 50 megapixel sensor compared to the previous generation and the regular S25 and S25 Plus, which only have a 12 megapixel sensor. So this should improve things like ultra wide shots, of course, but also macro photography. The other new interesting thing camera-wise actually has to do with video, and specifically audio recording within video. So there's a new feature that will let you have control over background noise and voices in videos, so you can choose to dial up the voices or dial them back, or dial up the background noise and dial it back, and have really granular control over how the audio sounds in the video. So this feels a little bit similar to something that Apple introduced last year, and Google has also introduced similar features for its Pixel phones. So it's nice to see Samsung kind of keeping with that theme and offering something like this on its own phones. All of Samsung's new phones run on a customized version of Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite processor for Galaxy. So Samsung has been co-branding its chips with Qualcomm for the past couple of years, but this year that integration seems to be even tighter, and what you can expect is some better performance when it comes to gaming. But also, this new chip is part of what powers some of these new AI features and some of the camera performance as well. Like many new phones, the Ultra will probably feel like a minor step up from last year's phone, but a bigger leap forward if you're coming from a phone that's more than 2 years old. But we'll know more once we've actually had time to test it. So what do you think of the Galaxy S25 Ultra? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the full story on CNET.